Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Nick. This right here is my 1953 GMC truck. In this video we're going to be pulling this engine out of here. We're going to be rebuilding it in an upcoming video. It is a 302 cubic inch inline 6-cylinder military from the 50s. We're going to be in this video pulling this front clip off, getting this engine out and getting ready to rebuild it, which you guys will see. So let's go ahead and get started. So I wanted to add this picture of my truck when I first got it probably 5 years ago, just so you guys could see what it looked like when I got it. It was pretty much just a shell, had the engine in it, and that way you can compare to what it looks like now. Since I just started a YouTube channel, you guys missed out on a lot of work, and I wanted to give you a little background on the truck real quick. Alright guys, I figured I'd bring you in here real quick and show you what's going on. So I just got done taking the bolts out that line right here, these front fenders. And they come along right through here. You can see the gap here. Just got done taking those out. There's also a couple bolts in here so that we can get this front clip off. Now we got to work on getting them off of the bottom of the core support here. So you can see we got a couple bolts there underneath the radiator we got to pull out. And then we got some wiring for the headlights and everything we got to undo. And then we should be able to just pull this front clip right on off. So let's get started. So I actually almost forgot that I have to drain the coolant out of this because this radiator is going to be coming out with the front clip. So you guys get to watch me make a mess in here all over my nice floor. That's already dirty, but yeah. I think we caught some of it. Alright, so while that coolant's draining out the rest of the way, I think we're just about ready. All we have to do is undo some of the wiring in here. We got to get these braces off that run up to the firewall. Little things like that. A little bit of headlight wiring, which runs through the inner fender right here. We got to disconnect that. And then I'm pretty sure we're pretty close to being able to just pull this entire front clip off, and you guys will get to watch me struggle doing that because I am by myself. So hopefully I can get it off by myself, because I don't think my wife is going to want to come out here and help me, but we'll find out. Alright, so we're getting pretty close to getting this clip off. We just got a little bit of wiring we got to undo, and like I said, we got to undo them braces going to the firewall, so I'm going to go ahead and get those done real quick for you guys. And then hopefully get this thing off here in the next couple minutes. Alright, now comes for the hard part. That you're probably all going to laugh at me about, just me trying to get this front clip off by myself. because everything's all loosened up and it's ready to come off. So I'm going to reposition you guys and we're going to try and get this off by myself. See how that goes. All right. Alright, so like I was saying, this is a GMC engine, 302 cubic inch that would have came in military vehicles back in the 50s. This is a military engine. They did make a civilian model as well. There are slight differences in the two, but they pretty much are the same engine. This one, my grandfather picked up in California. It was rebuilt at the time, probably 20 years ago. This one, I believe, could possibly be bored 30 over. We're going to find out when we get this thing out and tore down. But like I said, it's got some blow-by in it, and I'm pretty sure the rings are bad because it was rebuilt, but it never ran until I got it running probably 3 years ago, and I put a couple hundred miles on it. And it's a pretty good running engine. Like I said, it needs gone over. We're going to tear it down and see what we can do with it. Might do an intake and some headers on it and everything. It's got a split manifold from back in the day where someone took the factory one, cut it in half, welded the caps on the ends of it, and made a true dual exhaust with the factory intake manifold. A trick they used back in the day, get a little bit more horsepower. Alright guys, so it's a couple of days later. I had some stuff going on so I couldn't really film, but we are going to get this engine pulled out of here right now. I'm going to take you off the tripod and bring you underneath the truck, kind of show you what we got going on and what we need to do to get it out. And then I'll set you back up on here and go through a time lapse and go from there. Alright, so we're under the truck right now. As you can see, we're going to have to pull this drive shaft off. Pretty self-explanatory there. Exhaust has got to come off, which just connects right up here with them flanges that won't focus. There we go. Those got to come off. Transmission's pretty easy. 4 bolts, ground strap. There's our cross member. That's got to come off too. Shifter coming up through the floor has got to come out. Then we're going to have to pull our pressure plate and flywheel off, because that's got to come off so that we can get to the bell housing bolts that are up in here. And once we get that bell housing off, we'll be ready to pull this guy out of here. So I'm going to set you up on a time lapse real quick. We're going to get started. All right, so while that transmission fluid is slowly leaking out, we're gonna drop this truck down and we're gonna start messing around with the wiring, disconnecting anything that we need to do there. Now it's time to just start disconnecting wires, throttle linkage, choke, and that's about the only thing. There's not very much wiring on this engine. It's pretty mechanical, so this won't take very long at all. Alright, so I think everything's disconnected from the engine. We're going to get this thing back up in the air and pull the transmission out. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and show you my concern right now and why I have this set up the way I do. It might not be too big of an issue, but I don't want to take any chances. So this engine is not traditionally mounted the way it would normally be mounted. Normally your engine mount would be up in the front, and then if you come back here on the back of the bell housing where these bolt holes are, that would be a mount going to the frame. And then traditionally the transmission would free hang with no cross member. This is not set up that way. It's more a traditional mount with engine mounts on the sides and then the cross member for the transmission. My worry though is once I pull this transmission out, there's nothing to hold the back of the engine except for the two mounts up front. So my worry is when the transmission comes out, the back of this engine is going to want to drop. Now, it might just rest up against the firewall and be okay, but I have my engine hoist in a block holding up the bottom of the oil pan right now. Just in case, we're going to go ahead and pull this transmission out right now and see if it's going to cause an issue. I really hope it doesn't, but you guys will know when I know. Alright, so now we got to get this pressure plate off, so that way we can get the flywheel off and the bell housing off, and then this thing's ready to come out. this thing's getting ready to come out right now. I got one bolt left in, that's a motor mount. The nut's already off. So we're gonna try and get this thing pulled out here real quick. Hopefully my chain isn't too long, but we're gonna drop the lift down. All right. Should be all freed up. Okay. Let's see if we can pull it out. Looks like I'm gonna go a little higher. All right, everybody. So the engine is out. It is on the engine stand. So in the next video you guys see, we're gonna start tearing this guy down. Start ordering some parts for it and see what's going on with it. All right, everybody. I appreciate you watching my first video. Hopefully you like it enough to stay tuned for the next one where we tear this guy down.